Welcome back to week 5 of the Crawl Cosplay Sudden Death Tournament. The final week, and it's all to gain and all to lose. If we take a look here, we've been assigned our week 5 situation. This is the Friday after the reveal, so people have been bashing around for probably half a day or so. Depends on if they went all overnight or not. So let's dive in and see what's up. So first, this week is HuWn Wanderer. So if we jump right in, HuWn Wanderer. Bonus 1 is enter slime as your second multi-level branch, don't get banished. Bonus 2, reach the end of vaults at XL less than or equal to 18, and the gods are Bo, Yred, and Jiva. Interesting. So as you can see here, our early firers some of them have seen fateful ends, unfortunately, but we can see that one of our big names has already bashed through most of the game, and actually, if you look at them, they've already unlocked all their specialty bonuses, and so for them, it's just a flat win, and they've already got both their bonuses. So I don't know where they're at, but looks like it's just a clean three rune win and out for them, so congrats to them. That should be under their control, hopefully. But anyway, let's look at us. So HuWn Wanderer, so there's some variability to this. Now, of course, humans are pretty neutral with aptitudes, so whatever you get, Wandering, it is what it is. You're basically at risk for the first 2 or 3 levels before you get your first nice weapon or something, if you don't get a weapon to start, so that's a little risky. Looking at the gods, all 3 of these gods are very winnable gods. Bo is a little difficult these days to get going, unless you've got some early game power, because that first few orcs can be pretty miserable. So that's something to note. Can't be banished, so you got to be careful about that. Jiva is something you can only get in certain cases, and you probably don't want to get early, so that's a little complicated. And Yred is a pretty cool god. It kind of strategically alters your way you tackle floors, but it is what it is. It will kind of bounce up against things like bonus number 2, where it's reach the end of vaults. Sometimes if you want to dive down, get right to the end and pop up, it's like you've ruined your Yred opportunity of power in that floor, so that's a complication there. But it is what it is. You can still clear a floor even without Yred support. It's just a bonus kind of power thing. So, if you just want to pop down, get your Vaults 5 trigger for bonus 2 and come out, whatever. It's not like you're forced to do Vaults 5 then and there at all, all that kind of thing. So unfortunately for me, I've only been able to go deep week 1. Where am I here? I'm right here. So the rest, I'm all zeroed out. So it's if something triggers that's convenient for this, okay. It's clear that based on these dailies or these bonuses, this is definitely one setting you up for a strong ascetic rune, because other than reaching the end of vaults at that XL, everything else is, not interfering with that. And you just have to enter slime as your second multi-level. And based on my understanding, that means it's not dungeon, because dungeon's not a branch. Your first multi-level branch would be Lair of Beasts, because you need to do that to get to slime. And so basically they're saying just don't do orc. You do dungeon, you do lair, which is normal, and then you just jump into slime, get a bonus point. You don't even have to do slime. You just go in, you've entered slime, bonus point, get out, do the rest of the game as you will, and go from there. Yeah. So that's 4 minutes of talking about generics. Let's actually see what's up. So let's go to Dungeon Crawl 0.33. Ooh, big loading screen. We're all recording, volume's good. And it's a HuWn Wanderer. Where's my wandering? Where are you? There you are. Okay. So we got a cloak, we got leather armor, we got a wand of charming, no weapon. So we have a difficult first few hits, that's for sure. Basically, we were given some evocations. I don't. Well, actually, we were even given some unarmed. I don't think I'm gonna be unarmed, if I can avoid it. But at least it's like we weren't given a weapon, but we were given some unarmed. So I guess I'll start with just training fighting, and I'll try to transition based on what I see. So let's throw some stones and hopefully punch it out. Yep. Let's pull back, throw some stones. Oh, no more stones to throw. I'll hold off and punch it out. Cool. Remember, humans, there's not like an incredible amount of interest with humans other than they're neutralized, all zeroed out basically aptitudes, give or take. The notable, though, is that we get health and mana as we explore. I don't think I'm going to hard commit to a whip just based on the first thing I get. But, we could just be axes or, something pretty basic. The nice thing with a wandering start, or the thing with a wandering start, is that you're not really committed to anything. So we'll just kind of take it one by one. If I don't see anything like amazing to weaponry wise in like D1, I'll probably start training perhaps something. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we're clear of the danger zone of D1, at least at this point. Short of some crazy weaponry hold by somebody. Like, sometimes you get like a little goblin with like a short sword of a lek that just like two-shots you out of nowhere and you have nothing to do to stop it. Other than that kind of stuff, we're at least clear of our D1. And then we'll go from there. Nice. A few stones. Doesn't hurt. So, oh, I don't want to just start throwing wands of charming, that's for sure. I swapped to the spear just because I can hit at range a little bit with that. It's worth noting we do know which one is our curing potion, and so if there's like a desperation moment, I at least know exactly what it is already. That being said, I would I think I said this in my intro timing, that this is, I mean, for anyone who's already done most of the stuff, but maybe not like ascetic rune, this is definitely a nice ascetic rune setup. Because you can, do your normal, let's call it easy mode, normal strategy for getting your first rune, without having to like, first rune is in hell, or, this kind of stuff that has been plaguing people all tournament so far. It's really felt like every single thing has been very punishing in that manner, all tournament. Maybe I'll do some light armor, and see, I was hoping I could get like an axe. Maybe I will go pole arms for now. If I end up picking like red or bow, which are like the most likely gods that I pick, I'll be attacking from something in front of me. So pole arms is probably a strong choice. And so I think at this point we can pretty much commit to pole arms. The most we can commit at this point should be probably towards pole arms. Okay, this is one of our first danger mobs just because of the poison. We do have curing known, but ideally we don't use potions if we can do that. Hopefully an insanely great body piece. Very nice. As you can probably tell by now, I'm probably not going casting. It's just lining up to be a melee character at this point. Who's to say, but in the future, but that's what it's feeling like. I'm going to pull back to the stair. Okay, it's an unknown altar. Let's look. Dith, Zom, and Ignis, so it's not even one of my combos. So there's not even a consideration. I know earlier on in the tournament, I had a comment suggest, like, well, if you find your thing early enough, you could still do the Fated Altar, and if it pulls out one of your things, great, and if it doesn't, then you just reset. But even if it was there, I don't think... Ooh, Grinder, get out of here. I know he'll give me a point, but not this early. But, ooh, a Spectral Quarterstaff. I am cross-training staves. I think I can probably... It's 1 at 7 versus 14 at 1.2 plus Spectral. So that's just better for now. I will use this as primary, and then if and when I get a good... Ooh, I just saw an Ice Beast. Let's... What's over here? Okay, I don't want to engage that Ice Beast. But anyway, I wanted Q to be B and Q to be A. Okay. But because we're cross-training staves, if there's like a crazy Lajitang that appears, you know... Okay, I still don't want to be Grinder yet. Then there's some potential there. I don't think I'm going to be... Oh, oof, this is like the worst case. I don't want to be in a corner, so I think I'm going to have to try to charm him. Okay, and I'm going to tell him to retreat here. Okay, talk. No. Order. I want to guard the area and get out of here. Okay, this is a pretty scary situation. There's just a lot of uncertainty with this kind of Grinder roaming. So, ooh, do I want to bring up the Wiz? Yeah, I'm going to bring just the Wiz up, and we're just going to attack. And as we can see here, it's a Spectral. So as long as I have space beside me, it'll help. So I'm quite powerful in that sense. See, here it won't spawn, so that's not a great place to engage. Okay, so here's Grinder. Pull up. We're just gonna go down. I'll work my way back up. There's a Vehement Altar. Okay, I'm gonna root him. Root him. Whew, that's a little tight. I'm gonna tell him to guard the area. I didn't... Okay. Talk. Guard the area. So that was very tight. Now Grinder was up on that one, so we don't want to go there. Okay. We really don't have great ranged and defense right now. That's our risk. We do have good AC, give or take. Our health is okay. It's just we don't have good poke to kill things before they touch us, and so it's a little rough right now. And we are XL5 now, so we gotta play it safe. There's a Sif altar. Basically, we're I mean, we're not a glass cannon, but in the grand scheme of things, when you're trying to not die in a sudden death tournament, we are currently very glass cannon-y. If they get to us and we can attack, the thing spawns, and then we're going to kill them. But we have to survive the encounter. I suppose I could probably do some hot swapping with the bow if I really want to engage something from afar. So that guy's over there, so let's try to come back this way and see if I can get that ring that we kind of noticed. Well, it's a ring of ice, so that'll help us with the ice beast, I suppose. And I mean, that's probably enough. Now we could probably go upstairs, maybe go up here. A Ashen'Zari altar. Okay, so this floor is basically done. I do want to go up and finish off what's up here. We're probably well powered enough to deal with Grinder now. As long as it's in a good spot. I would ideally like to engage on a stair that goes down. So like here. And I could probably try to root him to start. And boom. Okay, so we've got a point. All good. And here's an axe and a hep. What kind of weapon is this? It's a dagger of elect. So I do need to take this guy seriously. Okay, so at least he's dead, and then clean it up. So that's a really nice situation with that weapon. And we've got a helmet. And this floor is fully cleared, so we can just kind of push through, get that poison darts, and now I have something of use to throw for now, and carry along. So we could probably take out the dude, the big ogre, but I don't think there's a pressure to do it. So let's keep going. D5. Let's just get up in there. So we're at the point where we're going to start seeing temple. Okay, not great. I don't want to engage. Oh, he's invised. Not great. I'm going to run. Oh, I'm not negative cold. I wonder why. Or negative fire. I wonder why. Oh, my chess piece. I'd rather just run than engage half health, and I'll take off the ring. I was just thinking, like, why am I not negative? And that's why. So now his Wand of Flame will be less relevant. I'm going to pull back this way. He'll come beside, and then now I can spawn and kill, and we're set. Not ideal. I'll just poison him and use the... Okay. I was going to use the roots more of a defensive escape rather than an offensive hold. Resist core. Oh, we've got a lot of rings. Where did this all come from? Okay, protection and magical power is irrelevant. So resist core, I guess, is something. That's something. And I can draw this. And yep. So the question is if we see an orc priest, do we allow ourselves to become bow or do we do red? I have one and can win with either. I think bow is probably the most power potential, but the hardest. So you have to ask yourself, could you win that first orc fight? I don't know the answer to that just yet. I'm gonna pull back. I don't usually whites come in packs, and I just rather split it up here, especially since I want to engage in a separate space. Okay, Nemelex. Okay, I'm gonna pull back again, and I'll go to the stair. There's no clean way to engage this. I could run it out to the other stair, or I could go up and pull up and split them. I'm just going to go here and go to the other stair. Actually, I'm just going to pull up here. It's a pretty nice sword. And then we'll take it out here. Dire Flail. Okay. What's... Oh, hello. We'll go Strength. Scale Mail of Cold. I'll pick it up. I'll default to the Chainmail, of course. I'm going to pull back and hit off the top. Some spells. Okay, still no temple, so we're getting a late temple. So either L or M, or maybe K, I guess, is our ID. We're still trying to be ascetic. Going with bow makes ascetic harder. Because to get that first ascetic set up, you kind of want to have all the support that first orc setup, you want to have as much support as possible. And well, if you're doing ascetic, you can't really do that. Ring of Wiz, I doubt I'm going to be doing that. I've been playing a lot of 3-4 trunk lately, and I definitely can get used to the new inventory management situation, that's for sure. Okay, I can probably just kind of tab through these guys. Some book stuff. I already have a cloak. Okay. So I can't make this choice yet. I think I might go bow. But we'll have to wait for another engage moment. I think I have to damage it these days to... So it's just by itself now. Get in there. Well, it just one-shots it. Okay, well, maybe there'll be another shot at it. Well, just to play it safe, I'll just do that. And come in. Okay, put that corrosion back on. Okay. I like seeing these wands. I do have some evocables, or evocation learning, which is nice. Pole arms are pumping. Fighting is pumping. Just the classics. Fetus, Temple, Altar, da-da-da. Here's our Zin, and this is probably Temple. No, it's not. Okay, so I'll buy these things. I'll note that there is a staff, although I'm probably not buying a staff. It would be a Lajitang that I'm buying at this point. Here's our temple. So the reality is okay, thank God we got red. Because if we got screwed over our temple another time, I would have been so annoyed. But unfortunately, that bow never happened, and so I think it's just red. Obviously, it's not Jiva, just because you can't get it unless you get all the way down to slime and get that altar. So it's pretty clear M is our ID scroll now based on all that. Although, you know, having 7 of something, I don't know. There might be some wacky 11 teleport game going on right now, but who's to say? But yeah, we're red now, so that means we do want invocation training. Quite a lot, actually. Perhaps even double pip it. And we're going to be lighting our torches on new floors. So the main thing with red is that when you enter a floor, you can light your torch and it remains lit as long as you're on that floor. You want to hold off lighting your torch until you have use for the mobs it spawns initially. And then you eventually rev up your red abilities or your red piety, and you can do things like throw torches for extra buffing your guys or damaging the others. And you can claim the soul of something, and it gives its abilities. Excuse me. Ooh. There are certain mobs that are like really good for red soul stealing, including named mobs, of course. But there's also some interesting edge cases, like the Vorpal snail, where as long as you can keep it up, everything it sees is slowed, which means you're always hasted relative to them. So like, there's weird things like that that are pretty cool. But yeah. So I'm going to... I don't need to light the torch. Wait, I do need to light the torch to get it to start ticking, I think. So I will light it. And so we begin. Okay. So this does lean towards wanting pole arms over Lajitang future. But I'm not going to force it if I don't have a good spear yet. Or a trident or whatever, polearm. Well, of course, we got a natural Jiva altar on the floor. Well, it wasn't meant to be. A little late for this, but I like Jiva. It would be kind of interesting to do a... Oh, I'm going to pull back here. I'm going to pull back and then recall my horde here. Okay. Let's pull back, and then I'm going to try to engage at a better spot here. Ooh, not good. Okay, I'm going to say guard the area, and I'm going to walk away. Call my horde so that they live, and we're gonna hide in this upper corner so that we can reset our health. Okay, so we were able to keep our horde while also not having to use any potions. Obviously you would use a curing potion in that scenario if you just wanted to go full ham, but I mean, we have options. Dagger of Chaos. Ooh, nice. Some Karare. Resist. Is this because of the Dagger of Chaos? Okay, let's get in here. Ooh, okay. This isn't great. Okay, I do have to use my potions now. Ugh. Yikes, guys. What an end to the tournament. I should have... I don't know. He was invis, so I don't think I could have done anything with the charming, I think. I should have tried to investigate that, because I don't think you can charm invis things, or things you can't, or at least I couldn't hit it as well, maybe? I'm not sure, actually. Fuck. Oh, language, sorry. I did use my curing, so it wasn't like I held off that. Of course, ascetic rune, I could have had those 11 identification scrolls known, and it would have given me perhaps some options. Maybe a teleport scroll would have been available to me. I mean, I think I died within 4 turns, so I might have gotten 1 teleport out in time. I was blinded right off the top, so that killed that. Yikes. What else could I have done? I'm sure if I identified some potions, I might have had a healing potion, so I might have had more health. I didn't have any red abilities that I could have used. I could have just ran. I mean, for sure. I mean, I was slowed, I think, because I got that thing thrown at me off the top, I believe, and so I was blind slowed, and so it would have caught up to me. So maybe pure running wouldn't have worked, but I guess the logic would be like, had I used my identification scrolls, maybe I had a haste potion, and thereby I could have canceled out the slow. Yeah. I mean, I did a good job escaping it the first time up top. But alas, I did not survive. Let's see if I can get any info from the of note. Okay. Well, fear wouldn't have worked, I don't think. Silence, not really relevant. Interesting. Okay, so this is interesting. So I would have correctly gotten the Scrolls of Identify if I had preemptively not known to do Ascetic Rune, but I probably wouldn't have arrived at any of my scrolls or my teleport or blinking, because they're actually very low, and I would have worked my way downwards. I would have done like enchant weapon. Okay, it's enchant weapon. Or I would have been 7. Okay, enchant weapon. It's 5. It's enchant armor. I would have done like amnesia. Oh no. Oh, what do I do? And then I probably would have gone over here and started trying to find my healing potion. So I would have done like 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, still don't have healing. And so at that point, I would have had like 4 or so identifies. And at that point, I'm probably picking between one of the 2s, which there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I could have maybe gotten my teleport known, but it would have been like edge casing, like finally arriving it after using all 11 up. So actually, the thought process of like, I would have had my teleport scroll had I not been the Ascetic Rune, or I would have had healing potions, is actually not true. What could I have done? I maybe could have invis potion, but I was already trapped by that point. Maybe if I'm running away and I invis potion, that changes things. None of my potions really would do much here. That would be like a guaranteed save. Nothing other than if he was visible, I could have maybe feared, I think, but like he wasn't visible. He was invis from like the top, basically. So actually, my evocation or invocables wouldn't have necessarily been a cure to this situation. And so at least from that perspective, I don't feel as bad. But I think the true move would have been just to immediately run and just accept that I wasn't going to kill this person. and just lived. Hopefully, if I could have escaped. Now, if we look at our map to the right, I only had the one out. So where would I have run? Well, he was to my right, so I would either have to have run towards him to get through him, or run into the mystery of the left. And so even running would have been wacky. So I might have had to throw some roots, hopefully holding it back. It might have been one of those awkward, like, I'm barely making it, rooting him, running, rooting him, running. He's visible, throw some charming, hopefully run away from that. That would have been probably the escape. But it didn't happen. So ends my tournament. So let's... I don't know how long it's been. Let's update. I'm not getting an update. It hasn't been updated yet, but I think it would have been 1 point because I would have killed a unique and I wouldn't have entered a branch because that would have been the lair. So that's such a shame. This would have been a pretty, within reason, you would have entered lair 1 point. You would have entered either, you would have probably arrived at layer 5 in or at the same time in or around entering slime. So basically this was a very likely easy 4 bonus game or point game baseline. So it's a shame we threw it away. But let's just take a look, just because I'm not going to do another episode that's tournament specific. Let's try to hopefully see an update. Well, okay, it's saying that I have won. That's what it's going to be. So we're going to end the tournament. Who's to say? We're, maybe 3 or 4 of these people will get more points than I have. These people haven't played every week, so that might be a sign. Well, this person at least. So, and these people are done. Unfortunately for them, unfortunately for me, this person's not. So I think we're pretty locked into our position. Hans might pass us if they get 4 points. I think that's 4. They would need 3 to tie and 4 to pass. So, if they have a reasonably medium to successful game, Hans could pass. But I think we're pretty much locking ourselves in for the tournament at 26 or 27. That's probably what's the most likely situation here. I suppose Platt could get 10 points, 19. So, Platt's live. Good luck to him. I guess technically Mansef could pull out a 10-pointer. Or I guess he would only need an 8-pointer. He did win, so hey. So, there's some variability. So anywhere between 26 and probably 28 is my final position. So it's not the best, not the greatest. I'm still disappointed in a lot of these situations. Definitely got to learn how to play some of these special cases a little bit better. I never really got to push it hard, but I definitely always had it in my mind. Who's to say? Week 1, that was a rough death because I was running back in a cleared floor and forgot to escape or account for something I left alive. So that was more embarrassing than anything. Otherwise, I think I could have won that game. Things were feeling good. Maybe not like a 10-pointer, but... Well, actually, it would have been a 10-point because both of those bonuses were unlocked. But I think that was possible. The Knoll Summoner... That one was stupid on my part. I shouldn't have pushed so hard into depths and taken that ice beast or ice giant so easily. So that's on me. That's a learning moment. When you're being forced into doing things earlier than you would normally, you got to learn some better play style. So that's a learning moment. Let's take a look. So then the Deep Elf Hedge Wizard, that one there was technically an out in that I went down to Orc 2 and I had a tick of you're going to be paralyzed perhaps, or something's being cast and then paralyze. But that was pretty bad feels. I theoretically there's an out, but that's the super edge case of an out. Last week was the Necromancer. How did I die with that? I honestly don't remember how I lost that. Let me take a look. I know it was quick and unfortunate. Um, where's my death? How did I die? Oh, yes. So that one was very unfortunate for me. I got shafted immediately after getting my altar temple, or my temple, and I got trapped in a no stair corner of a mazy style dungeon floor, and I did my best to escape. I think we talked about it in depth, like edge case. Like had I known what it was going to be, I should have done this, which was poke southward towards where the gnolls were, maybe kite them in a circle a little bit. I did rewatch my video after recording the end of the video, of course, and I did notice that I mentioned I could have curved up and to the left and done a loop to kind of loop those gnolls, but actually the gas leaf head or whatever it is actually engaged me in that circular room. So he was active from the start, and so I couldn't have gone up through the known space without also bringing that skull. So I would have had the same encounter. It just would have occurred in the north side. Maybe that means that I'm not pulling out those smiting priest, but so it theoretically would have been better, but it wouldn't have been obviously better. So that's just a thing I noticed. And then today, of course, Jessica, or not Jessica, the Octopode one, really tore us a new one, even though we escaped it the first time. So that summarizes the tournament for me. Hopefully some people have some good weeks. I'm excited for this kind of endgame battle here. Pi is going to be locking in probably pretty tightly. He's got all his things done. He didn't have a great week too, so there's potential for passing. Actually, it looks like OUSD is hard locked to second now. I think that's why Pi is rushing it, because it might come down to finishing first. I don't know how that tiebreaker works, but I think our best next effort is Plankenstein doing a 10 out of 10 while also doing an aesthetic rune. Then he will become first. Agent, I don't know if he can pass. And the man in the me in team, I don't think can pass. Unfortunately, Tom blew up that week 3. Yeah, so it's really coming down to like Ancient, Plankenstein, and Pi for the final. So good luck. And hopefully next tournament is a little bit more stronger than the last. Like you always want to do your tournaments better than the last. And so I think, I don't think I've done a tournament for quite a while. So we'll see how maybe 0.34 goes. I assume that might be the next tournament. I'm not sure how many we do in the same level. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll be bringing my channel back to regular content. I have quite a lot of a full series, like wins, ready to release. They were originally going to be scheduled in a regular schedule, but the tournament kind of pushed them back. And so there's some crazy ones, some fun ones, some learning ones, a lot of good stuff. We'll see how I post them. I think I'm going to stick with the 1 episode a day, and then put a little gap of time between series. Hopefully that's okay. Send your comments if and when you see videos, have opinions on it. When you do a full 3-rune game on things that are more tedious gameplay, the number of episodes definitely stretches, and so hopefully that's okay. You're excited to see, like, this is a 10 episode win of this, or an 11 episode win of that, because that's kind of how it works out in the grand scheme of things. So like, subscribe, all that stuff. Definitely I like seeing comments, suggestions, comments on things you might have done. Always good to learn, and have a nice day, guys. See you around.